लोन विनियमित संस्थानों से ही लें और कर्ज उतना जितनी जरूरत, वो भी जांच कर। हो गया इंतजाम, पगार एडवांस में भेजिए।
आरबीआई कहता है,
सही वित्तीय बर्ताव करे आपका बचाव।
Kashmir, exodus of Kashmiri Pandits, Pulwama, Balakot, abrogation of Article 370. I was there, I have seen it all. I have recounted it in the book. कितने गाजी आए, कितने गाजी गए. Don't miss it. DD Dialogue on DD India with Sakal Bhatt. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
It's my pleasure and honor to introduce former DG DIA, Lieutenant General Dhillon. Thank you so much for talking to us, Sandeep.
Army is a passion. Army is a love affair. Army even job nahi hai. Bombard Balakot, and Balakot has a history in Indian history, which I mentioned in the book also. The message of the government was very strong and firm that we will hit you inside Pakistan. अगर इतिहास लिखना है, तो किसी को इतिहास बनाना पड़ेगा. Don't miss it. DD Dialogue on DD India with Sakal Bhatt. Thank you. जय हिंद।
दीदी नौकरी लग गई।
अरे वाह, बधाई हो। तो अब तो ढेर सारी शॉपिंग।
हाँ दी, नया मोबाइल।
अरे रुको शहजादे, सैलरी से पहले खर्चे।
इंस्टेंट लोन भी तो मिलता है।
पहले बजट बनाना सीखो, फिर खर्च करो।
पर दी,
देखो, कमाई का एक हिस्सा हमेशा बचाना चाहिए, लेकिन पार्टी देने से नहीं बचोगे तुम।
हाँ दी, पार्टी मेरी, बजट तुम्हारा।
अच्छा।
आरबीआई कहता है,
सही वित्तीय बर्ताव करे आपका बचाव।
Welcome. It is 7:30 in the evening in India and we are back again with our spotlight on G20. The G20 countries account for about 60% of all agricultural land and 80% of the global trade in food and agricultural products. Since 2020, risks to food security and nutrition around the world have increased due to a number of factors such as the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic and extreme weather events and the Russia-Ukraine war. Food security of vulnerable groups across the world is thus a matter of concern, and more efforts are thus needed to improve agricultural productivity and capacity, increase sustainable farming practices and respond to climate change, maintain open and transparent trade, and improve the availability of fertilizers. The G20 Agriculture Working Group meeting seeks to address many of those challenges to agriculture globally. That and developments at the G20 Digital Economy Working Group meeting. All that and more in this edition of India at G20. I'm Munmun Bhattacharya. First up, the top stories. On the second day of the first G20 Agriculture Deputies meeting of the Agriculture Working Group in Indore, Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia shares a 3S template for agricultural development: smart, serves all and sustainable. Chair of the G20 Digital Economy Working Group, Alkesh Kumar Sharma, says the goal of the working group is to ensure that benefits of technology are available to all. Terms resilience and cybersecurity of digital economy as paramount, says digital skilling is important for creating a future-ready workforce. India's G20 Sherpa Amitabh Khan delivers keynote address at the G20 Digital Economy Working Group meeting in Lucknow, highlights the success of India's digital public infrastructure model in delivering financial inclusion, social services, ease of governance, cybersecurity, and preventing monopolization of digital space. On the second day of the first Agriculture Deputies meeting of the Agriculture Working Group in Indore, Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia shared a 3S template for development in agriculture sector, which is smart, serve all and sustainable. He also highlighted the importance of drones in India's agriculture growth story. India is sharing its best practices and experiences with G20 countries, invitee countries and agricultural bodies from around the world to help address challenges to food security globally and make agriculture technologically equipped and sustainable. DD India correspondent Aditya Srivastav reports from Indore.
A day after two side events on stock taking of G20 initiatives in agriculture and climate smart agriculture for food security, the first meeting of the G20 Agriculture Working Group was formally inaugurated in Indore with a video message of Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. The meeting was attended by Union Civil Aviation and Steel Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, who advocated a strategy based on 3 S's for the agricultural ecosystem across G20 countries and beyond: smart, sustainable and serving all.
This is a seminal meeting. It's extremely important from the view of a global positioning. Today, agriculture and the provision of food grain across the world is one of the major issues. India has been a torchbearer and a leader in that area.
The Union Minister stressed on the need for integrating sustainable agricultural practices with the use of technology such as drones.
We should not limit the applicability of drones in agriculture only to pesticides. I put 1 or 2 examples out for you, whether it is cadastral surveys of agricultural lands or urban lands, whether it is the issue of seed balls, so seeding the ground, that can also be done by drones. And many more applications will continue to emerge as we go down this route.
Indore is also showcasing innovations by agricultural startups to delegates from G20 countries. Initiatives undertaken by the Agriculture Ministry of the Government of India and the Agriculture Department of the Government of Madhya Pradesh are also being shown at an exhibition.
NFTB is coming under the Department of Fisheries, Government of India. And now the almost 20,000 crores is a budget which has been given for 5 years period up to 2025, which is under PMMSY. So it gives mainly to increase the production and productivity of the country and to provide nutritional food to even the bottom level people also. That was the main objective of this NFDB, to increase production and increase exports, provide employment. So that was the main target, and to look into the domestic market also.
We come up with some solution, agriculture solution. We provide some farmer solution for agriculture waste management. We are farmer training, like we are doing mushroom training. We are providing mushroom production training. After that, we are just residue. After that, we are using for organic farming.
We are into medicinal crops and herbal crops. Whatever we grow, we dehydrate using the solar dryer. Once we put the crop into the solar dryer, it does not emit any carbon while processing, and the first stage of processing is done at the farm itself. Once the crop is dehydrated, it is good to be used for the next 1 to 1.5 years if stored properly. So it adds value. It adds value at no running cost. That is the benefit of solar dryers.
On the second day of the meeting, bilateral talks were held between India and Brazil on deepening agricultural cooperation. In the 3-day meeting, the lens is on 4 themes: food security and nutrition, climate-based approaches for sustainable agriculture, value chains and food systems for inclusive agriculture, and digitization for agricultural transformation. 98 delegates, not only from G20 countries, but also from invited countries and international and national agricultural organizations, are participating in the 3-day meeting, with the aim to address challenges to food security and build a sustainable future for agriculture.
Countries with agriculture-based economy believe that if they want to remain agriculture-oriented in the future, then they will move forward with modern technology and digitalization in agriculture sector. In first agriculture working group meeting, delegates come from G20 countries are also seriously for food security in their countries. With current person Pradyum Dubey, Aditya Srivastav, DD India, Indore.
Let's now listen in to some of the delegates participating in the first G20 Agriculture Working Group meeting in Indore. They share their expectations from the meeting.
This meeting is very important for G20 members to gather and to discuss of all the challenges that the agriculture sector is facing at the moment. First of all, a lot of uncertainties on markets, and so that's why we need more transparency in markets, and the exercise of stock taking of initiatives, especially like AMIS, was very interesting. AMIS is an observatory of the market of cereals and crops, which helps governments and economic actors to have the accurate data on the market.
This is a very important meeting for the members of the G20 to come together to talk about issues with respect to food security and how we can work together to ensure that there's sufficient supply to alleviate any food security issues, but also to work together in terms of risk management for agriculture, and also to get a better understanding of supply issues across the globe.
Many of the initiatives, the platforms that were discussed today, they were launched during the G20 presidency in Mexico in 2012. So I'm really happy that I can see how they are progressing and how we can actually improve not only among G20 member nations, but also between other inviting nations, and also to improve South-South cooperation.
So I think it is good to have cohesiveness in policy, cohesiveness in action among these countries. And if we do that, then I think we are going towards a more food secure world, right? And let us also remember that food security crisis is going on today, and we have to get over it. I think for all these reasons, temporary reasons, long-term reasons, this is a very important initiative.
The importance of the Agriculture Working Group is to facilitate awareness, particularly in areas of agricultural transformation. Where I come from, Nigeria, we have weak agricultural systems, and this kind of meeting will assist some of our developing countries in agricultural productivity.
Yeah, I think that this meeting is very relevant because agriculture is at the basis of our life, and in this moment food security is very relevant. We need to discuss all together the ways to tackle all the challenges to reach the SDGs number 2, zero hunger, and agriculture is at the center of this discussion.
Foreign delegates participating in the G20 Agriculture Deputies meeting in Indore got a first-hand experience of polyhouse farming. They were welcomed by villagers who garlanded them and welcomed them in a traditional manner. So if you're wondering what is polyhouse farming, a greenhouse is often known as a polyhouse, and it is a building or a house made of polythene. The translucent glass-like substance allows plants to thrive and flourish in a controlled environmental conditions. Polyhouse farming approach shields crops from a variety of external conditions that might cause significant damage. The polyhouse has a protected structure and technology that continually monitors the crop's development and growth. In view of the benefits of polyhouse farming, it is becoming increasingly popular in India. So the G20 delegates got a first-hand experience of polyhouse farming in a village near Indore. G20 delegates were taken on an excursion to the historical Mandu Fort in Indore. It is India's biggest fort, and India has been regularly showcasing its archaeological marvels to visiting G20 delegates across venues. Day 2 of the first meeting of Digital Economy Working Group in Lucknow saw discussions on priority areas of digital public infrastructure and cybersecurity in digital economy. On the occasion, India's G20 Sherpa Amitabh Khan shared an interesting fact. He said that with effective implementation of DPI, India leapfrogged 40 years of development and made progress in 7 years, which was expected to be achieved in 47 years. And any country can use the already developed DPIs and innovate on top of the same. DD India correspondent Ajay Mishra reports from Lucknow.
formal deliberations at the G20 Digital Economy Working Group meeting started on Tuesday in Lucknow. The day began with the Government of India offering its condolences for the loss of lives caused by the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, and the briefing delegates on Operation Dost, a search and rescue operation initiated by India to aid Syria and Turkey. The Indian head of the Digital Economy Working Group, Alkesh Kumar Sharma, shared the priorities of India's G20 presidency. India's G20 Sherpa Amitabh Khan made a detailed presentation on India's digital ecosystem comprising Aadhaar, Bheem UPI, FASTag, GST network and the CoWIN platform. He made a presentation on how lives of citizens have been transformed through India's digital public infrastructure and how DPIs have led to digital and financial inclusion, delivery of services and prevention of monopolies while ensuring security, privacy and good governance. He also mentioned the Modular Open Source Identity Program or MOSIP being used to provide digital identity to 72 million people across the world, and Open Network Digital Commerce or ONDC, which will democratize e-commerce in India.
Digital transformation is very critical, and to our mind, this working group is very critical to drive growth and prosperity in a moment of crisis. And therefore, all of you, your role is very critical and significant. And we would like, during India's presidency, that digital transformation becomes a very key driver of the global growth process.
Alkesh Kumar Sharma formally launched the discussions by citing the three priorities identified by the Indian presidency, which are digital public infrastructure, cybersecurity and digital skilling. He called upon the G20 members to work on achieving consensus to make a common framework for DPI, a common framework for safe, sustained and resilient digital economy, and mutual recognition of digital skilling programs.
It is important that our deliberations reflect the changing realities of our times. Over the past few years, the global digital economy has sustained multiple shocks. The COVID-19 pandemic underlined the criticality of digital technologies for achieving better developmental outcomes.
India has created a new model of growth through digital innovations. In that model, digital platforms do not have a monopoly and the private sector innovates on public platforms which are accessible to everyone in their own languages. Under its presidency, India wants G20 to adopt and finance a model that can help particularly the low-income economies create an inclusive and vibrant digital economy ecosystem. Later in the day, G20 Sherpa Amitabh Khan along with Uttar Pradesh government officials visited the Digital India exhibition, where they witnessed digital solutions based on artificial intelligence, machine learning, augmented reality and virtual reality.
Almost 4 billion people in the world do not have any kind of digital identity. 2 billion people are still out of formal banking ecosystem. There are 133 countries who do not have their digital payment ecosystem, and India has a lot to offer on all these fronts. During the Digital Economy Working Group meeting, India is pushing hard for the economies to adopt digital technologies to lead the world from recession to growth. With camera person Sumit Naudiyal, Ajay Mishra, DD India, Lucknow.
DD India correspondent Ajay Mishra spoke exclusively with India's G20 Sherpa Amitabh Khan on the potential of digital public infrastructure to transform lives and how G20 nations can collaborate to take that model to the rest of the world. Listen in.
We have with us the G20 Sherpa, Mr. Amitabh Khan, to talk to us exclusively. Sir, fantastic presentation at the G20 delegation. What are the general sense about the India's stack?
See, digital public infrastructure can transform lives of citizens, as India has done. It has achieved in the last 7 years what would have normally taken India 50 years to achieve. So India has developed a series of digital public infrastructure, and its identity is one thing. Then there is payment, there's DigiLocker, there's CoWIN. Many of them, I explained all these at great length to all the participants. Now in the world, there are 4 billion people without an identity. There are 2 billion people without a payment system and banking system, and without 133 countries without a fast payment system. So we need to take all this to the rest of the world, which we are doing, but other countries need to accept and understand the significance and importance of it and how they can technologically leapfrog. So earlier all technological development used to be done by developed countries. The first time that India has demonstrated its great ability to technologically transform the world, and that is where we need to partner the world, and that is what we are doing. The Prime Minister's objective is that we should use the G20 to really spread the digital public infrastructure to other parts of the world, and we are doing this presentation in every working group.
And sir, the digital skilling is one big thing that we are going to showcase to the world. How it can bridge the digital divide in the whole world, because many don't have the internet access at all.
So, digital skilling is the key to new jobs, new quality jobs of AI, VR, machine learning. And what we are doing is that using digital skilling as a way to transform. Now I demonstrated today that MOSIP, for instance, can give you digital identity even if you do not have internet connection. We can do it through Android phones and many other ways. So India has built up scalable models to very large population, looking at the challenges which those countries face. And that is what we will continue to do, to find technological solutions to other countries.
Finally, sir, your view about the general exhibition and what is the experience out here looking at the VR, AR and AI technologies being showcased here?
No, it's a very outstanding exhibition, but the good thing is that there are a lot of young children. So a lot of young children are benefiting from G20. They are seeing cutting edge technology, experiencing it, and that will enable the state of Uttar Pradesh to leapfrog. Uttar Pradesh has done outstanding work, and I think they are fully using this technology as far as G20 is concerned, which will benefit the future generations.
So thank you very much for the time. So G20 Sherpa says that digital skilling and going forward the challenges of digital economy will be addressed at the G20, and this is a fantastic opportunity for the young generation to actually learn and prepare themselves for the future jobs. With camera person Sumit Naudiyal, Ajay Mishra, DD India, Lucknow.
In fact, many startups in the digital space are being showcased at the Digital Economy Working Group meeting in Lucknow. Ajay Mishra speaks to one such entrepreneur in Lucknow.
The startup culture is getting popularity in Uttar Pradesh, and there are many startups being showcased here at the G20 Digital Economy Working Group meeting. Here in Lucknow, we have with us such a startup who is working on robotics for the agriculture, I think. So thanks very much, Milind. What exactly have you done? Can you please explain in, for the layman to understand?
Right, hi. So this is a robotics technology, a flying robotics technology, which we call it as a drone. But the main thing which this device does is that hovers around the farm, it flies over the farm, and then it analyzes and gives you the exact data of the health condition of the seed. So if using this machine, you can take stats and data analytics of the condition of the seed, whether it needs more water or mineral or whatever kind of treatment it needs, or if the seed is going in a healthy condition, it will give you a record. And based upon that data, farmers can easily make an analysis for their next move to make the best of the germination and the entire agriculture system.
Who is your client? Like you will be giving it to the government, or an individual farmer can also avail your services?
Right. So as of now, this machine, after the research and development, what I have decided that this will be given to the farmers on a 100% subsidy basis. So the service for the farmer will be 100% free of cost, and this is going to promote and encourage the farmers to step into the revolutionary world of technology, where they feel more confident about using new systems and methods in their farming culture.
You have also used the technology for disaster management. Can you share some of that, and what exactly have you done?
The startup which I have, I also invented robo robots and such devices that could scoop out the people who are trapped under kind of debris or something during natural calamity or something. I got an idea that we can develop a such device that could help them to locate the bodies or the survivors underneath the debris in just few minutes.
The technology that you used, how did you find the people who are actually hidden under the debris?
Right, so the technology which I designed, I termed it as a hypersensitive audio reception system. So what it used to do that we used to drill an approach. An approach is a 6 or 8 mm hole, and we used to put that device inside that hole, and then we used to just try to get the data feed and readings if somebody is even breathing. So we used to capture that particular sensitivity of the vibration and locate the area, approximate area where we need to start drilling the terrace area so that we can scoop them out. And this thing worked like a charm, and within 15 hours, 14 human lives, 4 human lives was saved, and I mean, even if one human is saved, then generations are saved. So
thanks Milind for this interaction. I think the startups are not only creating technology to solve the problem, but actually they are solving the human problem, and in this case Milind has really done a miracle by saving 14 lives using the technology in his own robotic labs here in Lucknow. With camera person Sumit Naudiyal, Ajay Mishra, DD India, Lucknow.
That's an incredible effort with the use of technology being showcased in Lucknow. Global digital technology is estimated to be worth 11 trillion US dollars today, and it is expected to reach 23 trillion US dollars by 2025. Here's a report on the digital exhibition put up in Lucknow by DD India's correspondent Ajay Mishra.
India is eyeing for $5 trillion economy, of which major portion is going to come from digital economy. The digital economy is expected to become $1 trillion mark, and digital payment is one huge success which India is showcasing at this G20 Digital Economy Working Group. Here you can see that it's a digital payment flick book which says that towards a developed India, and it is a digital payment Utsav, digital payment say Pragati Ko Gati. So it's a very simple thing that you just have to flip this book, and this QR code is being scanned, and whatever is the content is being reflected from this projector, where it is talking about the DigiDhan mission, which was set up in June 2017 to inculcate the habit of digital payment among the citizens. So if you want to go on the next page, you just have to flip it, and it will talk about the digital payment for the inclusive growth sustainable, the big focus in G20 summit. So it's a very simple thing, but it is just a different way of showcasing or sharing content. So here it is the UPI and its journey which is being showcased, and people are liking it very much. Next on the line is the interactive RFID table, which is talking about the various products by the UPI. UPI is the signature product. So for example, if you take the Bheem UPI app and you put it on the RFID, you will see the content coming on to this television set, and people can understand and actually see what is this product is all about. Here you can know about the e-rupee and how it is being used, and how it can be used by the common people per se. So there are different products which has been showcased out here, and also safety is very important. How to use the digital technology in a safe and sound manner, it is being showcased here. So it will just change the content, and now you can know about the UPI safety features in your language of your choice. So it's a fantastic example of how to showcase the different products in a very informative and interactive way. And this interactive RFID is also a center for attraction for the delegates of G20, which has come here to participate into the Digital Economy Working Group meeting. With camera person Sumit Naudiyal, Ajay Mishra, DD India, Lucknow.
So this exhibition is not only about exhibiting digital solutions, but also about innovative design and presentation. With that, I'll take your leave. That's it in this edition of India at G20. Thanks for watching.
दीदी नौकरी लग गई।
अरे वाह, बधाई हो। तो अब तो ढेर सारी शॉपिंग।
हाँ दी, नया मोबाइल।
अरे रुको शहजादे, सैलरी से पहले खर्चे।
इंस्टेंट लोन भी तो मिलता है।
पहले बजट बनाना सीखो, फिर खर्च करो।
पर दी,
देखो, कमाई का एक हिस्सा हमेशा बचाना चाहिए, लेकिन पार्टी देने से नहीं बचोगे तुम।
हाँ दी, पार्टी मेरी, बजट तुम्हारा।
अच्छा,